إن الحمد لله نحمده ونشكره ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, we will be proceeding with our Tafseer in a little way of the noble surah, that is Surah Al-Baqarah, which we started within this few couple of days. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I remember we stopped on verse 16. That's where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala saying that فما ربحت تجارتهم أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. So where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala was still talking about the munafiqun, that is hypocrites, giving, speaking about their, state, that they are those who purchased, اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى. They purchased wrong path with right path, that is, and then فما ربحت تجارتهم, that is their merchandise or their commerce did not profit them, that is, it is profitless. وما كانوا مهتدين, and they are not also guided, meaning they achieve nothing out of that attitude. Then he now went further to still give us explanation or illustration about their state in the next verses, inshallah, that we'll go through. That is verse 17, most likely to wherever Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will enable us to stop. So Allah now is saying, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون صم بكم عمي فهم لا يرجعون أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. Alhamdulillah, in these noble verses of the Quran, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مثلهم. So he's giving illustration of the state of the munafiqun, that is the hypocrites. He gave their description in two manners. At a point he gave an illustration using fire, and at another point he gave illustration using rain or water. As scholars will describe the two says as يعني مثال ناري ومثال الماء. Illustration of their state using fire. He said مثلهم, their likeness, كمثل الذي استوقد نارا, is as the likeness of one who kindled fire. That is, their situation is like the situation of somebody who made fire. It's just, like travelers in the past. Sometime in the night, they come to maybe settle at a place and they get firewood and things like that. They make fire in order for them to be able to see around. So Allah is saying that is the example or the situation or the likeness of the munafiqun is like the situation of someone who kindled fire, who made fire. مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله. When that fire lightened what is around him. Maybe somebody moving in darkness. Maybe you come to a place very dark and then you make fire. And then he said when the fire lightened around them, meaning they were able to see things around them. ذهب الله بنورهم. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala took away their what? Their light. وتركهم, and he left them. في ظلمات لا يبصرون. In what? In the darkness, and they cannot see. So meaning Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is talking about what? One who made fire in the night, not in the day. Because in the day, if you make fire, it doesn't lighten around you, because the lightness of the sun will definitely cover the brightness of what? Of the fire. So meaning here that Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is saying وَتَرَكَهُمْ فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ, meaning he left them in darkness. That means it's an example of somebody who made what? The fire in the night. And here Allah said فَلَمَّا أَضَاءَتْ, when the fire lightened for them, that is, it came with brightness that they can see things around them. Then after Allah took the light, it's like the example of a munafiq. He claimed to what? Accept Iman. He sees the truth, but what? Decided not to what? To accept it. So it's like someone who have got an idea of the problem around him, and now suddenly then he got what? Confused, not knowing what to do. So if maybe someone, like the fear you will have, the problem you will have sometime when you are in a darkness and then you lighten the place and suddenly the light goes off, the level of fear will increase. Maybe you can be standing at a place and there's snakes, scorpions around you because you did not see them from the beginning. So you won't have much fear because you won't know they are there. But when the light brightens the place and you saw the snakes and then the distance, and like one example, so somebody giving, people in the room, and now there was no light. A snake was in the room. Then they saw the snake, there was light. So they were trying to look for what to kill the snake, and suddenly, the light, electricity, maybe NEPA or what, just took the light. What will happen? So everybody now jumping, the one jumping on the bed, the one jumping on the chair, everyone now trying to what? To save himself, because the darkness makes them, they can't see this is where what? The snake is. So everybody is trying to what? To save himself now. So if if the other jump and touch the second person, everybody is afraid. Any slight feelings, everyone will shout. They will hit themselves because they may think is what? Is the snake that is touching them, not their a colleague or their roommate, because now they don't know where the snake is. Why? Because darkness have taken over. So everybody is looking for what? For safety. They're all scrambling for safety. So the moment anyone feels any slight touch on his body, then he will try to what? To hit that thing. So, and then because of darkness, sometimes you will not see your brother coming. You only feel him sudden before you know, okay, he's on. So that is like the state of the munafiqun. You know, somebody lighting in a place, seeing the dangers around, and suddenly the light what? Gets off. So, you know, the fear increases. So that's how Allah Ta'ala described the state of the munafiqun. Oh, they come close to the Prophet. They listen to the Quran. Hear what Allah Ta'ala is saying. And, you know, not ready to what? To accept that message. But sometimes, yes, they sit, they think about it. It's just like, even sometimes when the Quran is being revealed, Allah Ta'ala said in a verse where he's talking, you know, the surah was named specifically after them, Surah Al-Munafiqun. Allah Ta'ala is saying that whenever يَحْسَبُونَ كُلَّ صَيْحَةٍ عَلَيْهِ, when a verse of the Quran is revealed, they will be what? Afraid before it is even recited, because they will be thinking in case Allah is going to talk about them, because they can't deceive Allah Ta'ala. So their level of fear when they are listening to the Quran, or when Quran is going to be revealed, most especially one that they have not heard it first, and they say a verse is going to be, a verse is revealed and they will read it to them, you see that they are always what? In state of fear. So Allah said, مَثَلُهُمْ كَمَثَلِ الَّذِي اسْتَوْقَدَ نَارًا. Their likeness is like the last likeness of one who kindled fire. كُلَّمَا مثل الذي استوقد النار فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم. When the fire lightened around him for him, then Allah Ta'ala took the light, the light off, وَتَرَكَهُمْ, and he left them فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ, in the darkness, لَا يُبْصِرُونَ, they cannot see. Then he said, صُمٌّ بُكْمٌ عُمْيٌ فَهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. Summun, they are, deaf. Just meaning they cannot, hear and what? And pick what is good in what they hear to make use of. Summun, bukmun, they are what? Dumb. That is, they cannot say the truth. That is, they can say the truth. Umyun, and they are also what? Blind. That is, they cannot see the truth and make use of it. For whom la yarji'un, so they cannot what? Return. Truth doesn't come out of their mouth. Their ears not ready to what? To listen to the truth. And their eyes can see the truth and pick it. And if someone becomes like that, then he cannot return to what? The right path. Because what takes you to the right path is what? It's the truth. إن الصدق يهدي إلى البر وإن البر يهدي إلى الجنة إن الكذب يهدي إلى الفجور وإن الفجور يهدي إلى النار. In a hadith, the Messenger of the Hadith transmitted by Imam Al-Bukhari, the Messenger of Allah is saying, عليكم بالصدق, I enjoin upon you what? Truthfulness. فإن الصدق, certainly truthfulness, يهدي إلى البر, it leads to what? Righteousness. وإن البر, and righteousness, يهدي إلى الجنة, leads to what? Jannah. Then he said, إياكم والكذب, I warn you against what? Lies. فإن الكذب, because certainly lies, يهدي إلى الفجور, leads to mischief. وإن الفجور, and certainly mischief, يهدي إلى النار, leads to what? To fire. So what is easier for them to accept is what? Lies. Because they are not ready to say the truth, they are not willing to listen to the truth, and they are not willing to what? To understand the truth. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala described their state as that. That is, using fire in this state. And then he now went further to say, أَوْ كَصَيِّبٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ. Or another example of their situation is like the situation of what? كَصَيِّبٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ. Heavy downpour. From what? From the sky. It is heavy rain from the sky. مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ فِيهِ ظُلُمَاتٌ. In it, there is what? There are darknesses. The darkness of the night, and the darkness of the cloud, and the darkness of the rain, itself. فِيهِ ظُلُمَاتٌ وَرَعْدٌ. And also what? Ra'd, thunder. وَبَرْقٌ, and lightning. يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُمْ. They put their hands, their fingers, فِي آذَانِهِمْ, into their ears. مِنَ الصَّوَاعِقِ حَذَرَ الْمَوْتِ. From what? Thunder clap. That is the sound. That is, the heavy sound of thunder. They block their ears, being afraid of what? It's taking their life. Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, وَاللَّهُ مُحِيطٌ بِالْكَافِرِينَ. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He surrounds, the unbelievers. That is, He have knowledge about all of them, and also He will gather them at, an appointed time. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, here in this situation, use, state of the fire in relation to travelers to describe their state. And this place you also use what? The rain, heavy storm, in the, in the very dark, in the middle, in the night, to also describe what? Their state. Maybe somebody traveling and then heavy downpour, in the middle of the night, lightning, thunder, you will see that his work will be disturbed. That is their state. They are always in state of disturbance, state of, uncertainty, always disturbed, always confused. And that is because usually they don't have any particular stand. مذبذبين بين ذلك لا إله هؤلاء ولا إله هؤلاء. They are always confused. They are not with the believers. They are also not with what? With the kuffar. Clearly, yes, their heart is with the kuffar, and their physical is what? With the believers. And that's why when good, if this maybe during battle or any good situation, that before the believers, they will say what? أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ أَلَمْ نَسْتَحْوِذْ عَلَيْكُمْ وَنَمْنَعَكُمْ مِنَ the kuffar, they will say أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ وَنَسْتَحْوِذْ وَنَمْنَعَكُمْ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, that verse. And then when things, when good befalls the believers, they also say what? We're also with you. So they want to benefit from where? From all sides. It's a munafiq. Yes, it's usually trouble virtually to all the sides he is in. With the believers, they tell them that we are with you. They say we are Muslims. With the kuffar, they say they are what? They are kuffar. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, so we have, we do remind ourselves, we have to struggle as much as possible to take ourselves out of that state. And like we said, a kafir is far, far better than a munafiq. You are either a mu'min or a kafir or a munafiq. And someone should ask himself, check yourself, which one do you belong to? Someone else may not be able to say exactly where you belong, but you yourself, inshallah, can say exactly where you belong. Why? Because you can assess your heart. You know what is in your mind. That's why Allah told you that in tukhfu ma fi sudurikum aw tubduhu ya'lamuhu Allah. Tell them that if you conceal what is in your heart, or you what? Manifest it. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows. And because you can assess yourself, that's why the Prophet told you in the hadith that what? Al-Kayyisu, the wise one is who? Mandana aw hasaba nafsa, is the one who scrutinizes himself, who judges himself, wa amila lima ba'da al-maut, and works for what comes after death. So the situation of a munafiq is a very, very, a bad situation that anyone who understands it will not wish to be part of that. And what can save you from that is trying to, most especially as a Muslim, learn your deen, understand it, and live by it. You learn it, you understand it, and you try as much as possible to what? To live, by it. So the talk on them still continues. But like we usually do, we don't want to take very long time. So inshallah, we will continue with some of the sayings of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala about them, because apart from that is the next verse is still talking about their situation. He said, أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذان من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين يكاد البرق يخطف أبصارهم كلما أضاع لهم مشوا فيه وإذا أظلم عليهم قاموا. So it's still a talk on them, that we will pause on these three verses inshallah. For now, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala save us from nifaq and strengthen our iman, most especially in this blessed month of Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.